And now, to enlighten us with his igniting words, I would like to welcome Sri J. Nandakumar, our Nandetan, National Convener of Praknya Prava, for the most awaited keynote speech.
Most respected Chairman of this much discussed conclave titled Bridging South, Sri Babu Panikarji, and our dear Chief Editor, Dr. N.R. Madhu, and all the dignitaries, guests, and delegates who are participating in this conclave. As far as this topic is concerned, we are all participating in this function on a day after a historic occasion. Yesterday, in Honorable Supreme Court, there was a verdict which is very much in connection with the message which this conclave is trying to pass through or put before the world. That is, Bharat is one and will be one. The integration of this Bharat, it was not actually done by someone when our sacred constitution was approved. Right from the time immemorial, Bharat was one. Uttaram yat samudrasya himadre chaiva dakshinam varisham tat bharatam nama bharati yatra santati. From Himalaya to Samudra and Samudra to Himalaya, this Bharat is one. There is an indubitable cultural unity which extends end to end in Bharat. That has been clearly mentioned in our Vedas, and even pre-Vedic belief was also like that. I am trying to put before you about the most important verdict as far as Kashmir is concerned. It was not at all confined to one state. It was relevant for all the states, all the areas, and all the persons. In a way, it was a slap on the face of those disintegrating forces, Break India forces who are working to divide Bharat. It was a slap on the face of those forces who claimed or proclaimed the most poisonous slogan, that is Kashmir mange azadi, Kerala mange azadi, Bharat tere tukde honge, inshallah, inshallah. Those people have got enough of it. I would like to request with folding hands to those forces to stop this type of venomous campaign against the integrity of this great nation, against the indubitable cultural unity of this great nation, to satisfy their political ends. They are thinking that a divided Bharat will be helpful for them to come in power in some part of the Bharat. Or they are dancing according to the tune played by some forces abroad, those who want Bharat to be disintegrated. I would like to request them, think seriously about this. The matter has been closed forever by Honorable Supreme Court. That Bharat was one, Bharat is one, and Bharat will be one. No one in the world can divide this. And again, so many things have come out of that historic judgment. I don't want to go much deep into that. But only thing is that, which I would like to present before you, as far as Kesari and this particular conclave committee is concerned, when we were discussing about the topic, actually our stand was vindicated, ek prakar se, by the Supreme Court. At that time itself, when the discussion started, what would be the topic which we have to take into consideration and for discussion in this conclave, we were very much worried about the malicious campaign which has been started by some of the Break India brigades, supported by the so-called nationalist parties, the so-called national political parties. But now yesterday, through the judgment verdict, Honorable Supreme Court has clearly mentioned that there is no room for disintegration. No one can claim to go away from Bharat. The central government, according to the constitution, have got every right to rule each and every state, to take decision about the state, even dividing states for the purpose of good governance, good administration. The central government has got enough right. And it has been clearly mentioned that the process which has been taken by the government was correct, on the very line of the, according to the integrity of this great land. So when we decided on the topic of this conclave, it came to our mind that it should be bridging south. Many of our colleagues have started talking about why we have to think about bridging south. Should we need a bridge to bridge south to north? Or is it right to say that there is a North Bharat or Uttar Bharat and Dakshin Bharat? Is it right? But the topic was decided because that has been already mentioned by Honorable Minister also, and also our Chairman also mentioned about that fact. There was a serious effort to drive a divisive agenda by some vested anti-Bharat forces. So this initiative to bridge the minds of the people, when we are saying bridging south, it is not actually a geographical bridging. When we are saying bridging south, it is actually bridging the minds of the Bharatiyas. Those who have started the discussion about the cutting south, they have created enough confusion among the ordinary people of our land. They were hearing most reputed personalities. See, online or offline, when a chief minister was inaugurating such a divisive agenda program, surely it will go to the public. And the normal ordinary persons, citizens, start thinking, yes, there is a substance in it. When the chief minister is saying, or the concerned ministers are saying that the south is being neglected by Delhi, when they are quoting some fake accounts and saying south is contributing much to the nation, contributing much to the nation, not nation, contributing to Delhi, as if Delhi is somewhere in the foreign country. Kerala is contributing more, Karnataka is contributing more, Andhra is contributing more, but they were given less. Development is such a very debilitating situation. It was a dangerous situation in South. South is not at all developing. Ordinary people who are suffering because of the non-governance in states like Kerala, they were suffering. They are not getting ration. They are not getting day-to-day materials which are necessary to live from even civil supplies departments. They will think, yes, it may be because of the central government's neglect. And because of that, some sort of anger or across may develop in the public, that will develop into a huge dangerous division among the citizens of South, so-called South and so-called North. So it is necessary to be countered with the facts and figures. Whether development is happening in South or not. What was the situation before 9 years? Was the South and the so-called southern states are just like Swarga or living in the heaven? Whether our roads were okay at that point of time? Whether we have got all sort of these multi-path roads in Kerala? For the first time in the history of Kerala, we are seeing the roads having the international standards. We are viewing development to that extent. So in coming sessions, we are going to discuss about that also. And along with that, we have to think about the philosophical background of this great nation's unity. That's also necessary. What these guys are doing actually is a cruel injustice to the great history and tradition and our practices. So it is also to be cleared. There is an effort to bring about a feeling of otherness. See, Bharat is famous for that great thought that we never consider anyone as other. That is our speciality. When Swami Vivekananda was speaking in Chicago, one of his main points was, he was saying, see, in our land, our nation, Bharat, Hindustan, any of our languages haven't got any translation for your word exclusion. You have got a word exclusion. But in Bharat, Sanskrit to Malayalam, there is no translation, synonym for exclusion, because we never exclude anyone. We never consider anyone as other. But these guys, these cutting south mentality people are creating the feeling of otherness among our own people. They don't talk the language of unity. They are not talking the language of Sanatana Dharma. They are trying to propagate a vicious campaign against Sanatana culture. Some among them are even dare to say Sanatana is like dengue. Sanatana is like cholera. We talk the language of oneness. We talk the culture about cultural unity. I would like to quote the great thinker and our great leader and a person who is being considered as the father of our great constitution, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. He was presenting his paper on caste in Columbia University in 1916. All of you may be knowing that he was the alumnus of Columbia University also. He got doctorate from Columbia University. I am quoting. It is the unity of culture that is the basis of homogeneity. Taking this for granted, I venture to say that there is no country that can rival the Bharatiya Peninsula with respect to the unity of its culture. See how patriotic that great personality was. He is being misinterpreted by these elements that he was against culture, he was against Hindutva, he was against Sanatana Dharma, all sort of things. But what was his stand he took in that before that August assembly? He was saying, I venture to say that there is no country that can rival the Bharatiya Peninsula with respect to the unity of its culture. It has not only a geographic unity, but it has over and above all a deeper and a much more fundamental unity. Here is the main point. He was saying all a deeper and a much more fundamental unity, the indubitable cultural unity that covers the land from end to end. Setu Himachala, Himadre Chaiva Dakshinam, Varshantat Bharatam Nama Bharatiyatra Santati. This concept has been put before that intellectual seminar. In that anthropological seminar, Dr. Ambedkar has put it very clearly. When these guys who are not aware about these facts, I don't know whether they are not aware about these facts They haven't read even Ambedkar, whom they are claiming that he is their true leader. I don't think that they haven't read. I don't think. They are all considering themselves and boasting themselves as the most literate elements in the whole world, especially our Chief Minister, Kerala Chief Minister and all. When they have this punctuation for cutting, a great feeling towards cutting. In a lighter vein, I would like to say, in Mumbai and all, there we will get a tea known as cutting tea. It is known as cutting tea. What do you know? Do you know the meaning of cutting tea? Half glass tea ko cutting tea kalte hai wahan. So they have got a feeling with this cutting the land. And especially these communist people are very much expert in cutting even human. Cutting into 52 parts. Their speciality is in that. Maybe because, and the so-called poor Congress party, who have surrendered themselves before this divisive communist ideology. So many are saying that after Nehru, there was no one there in Congress who is specific in reading books and studying things. So the upper berth is khali for them. So they have outsourced every intellectual activities to Communist Party, the divisive Communist Party. The poor are the Communist Party. Communist Party is unipolar, unilayered vision and outdated communist philosophy, ideology. Philosophy is much greater a word. It cannot be used for this communist ideology. They are not able to comprehend the multi-layered culture of this land. Many are saying that Bharat is a multicultural nation. Wrong. Bharat is not a multicultural land. We have got a culture having multi-layers. So this multi-layer, bright, rich, this culture, they are not able to comprehend even. Such intellectuals, so-called intellectuals, were given the intellectual right to think for Congress. That's why the young leader of Congress having advisors from Jamia Millia and JNU. JNU students, former students are controlling their minds even. So this cutting mentality is very much there. Okay. Let me assert here with all responsibility that there is no South India and there is no North India. This division itself is wrong. If you want to say that you are from South, the word must not be, I am a South Indian. I am an Indian living in South. I am a Bharatiya living in North. I am a Bharatiya living in the east of the Bharat. I am a Bharatiya living in the west of the Bharat. So, there is no West India, there is no North India, there is no South India. There is only one India, which Ambedkar has clearly mentioned that great indubitable cultural unity. We have to stand for that. This two India concept is a colonial construct. Actually, right from the 18th century, there was a divisive measure and action started by the colonial masters to divide Bharat geographically into 2-3 parts. Especially after this Indus Valley civilizational findings, even Wheeler, the great thinker and historian and the person who is being considered as the father of Indus Valley civilization, when you go deeply into his writings and everything, we could find out that evil design of dividing Bharat into 2 or 3 or 4 that can be read from there. So, leftists who said Bharat is a multinational nation that I have mentioned already, and those who daydream of bleeding Bharat by 1,000 cuts. So many of the elements are still dreaming that Bharat can be divided and destroyed by giving it 1,000 cuts and bleed it. Who said it? That you know. The very same gang who said that slogan of Bharat tere tere tukde honge dash dash. What we have to cut south from? From where south is to be cut away? From Vedas? Can you divide south from Vedas? Many of you may be knowing, even now, the correct pronunciation of Veda with all the clarity and purity of the Vedic times is being heard only in South. I am not claiming that South, just like them, I am saying something great of South. It is a fact. Even from Kashi, Banaras, the great Pandits are coming to Kerala and Tamil Nadu to learn, to hear the actual pronunciation of Veda. Can we cut South from Vedas? Can we cut Kerala from Mahabharata? Mahabharata is still living in Kerala. Many of you may be knowing, Kerala's Raja's name has been mentioned in Mahabharata, who was in charge of the mess, who was not making mess of it, he was in charge of the kitchen. Perinchotu Dayanan, he was in charge of the food for all warriors. Can we cut Bharat from Kerala from Ayyappa or Bharat from Ayyappa? I am from Pandalam. Pandalam is ruled by Pandya Rajas. Pandya Rajas are the followers of Surya dynasty. And many of you may be knowing, many scriptures in Malayalam, the ancient scriptures, one of it I would like to quote here, that is Tirunidal Malai. It has got 1,000 years history. In that Tirunidal Malai, not proper modern Malayalam, in a Tamil mixed way, it has been clearly mentioned that Kerala's ancestors came from Ayodhya. It has been said by any Vishwa Hindu Parishad leader. It has not been, not because 1,000 years back there was no Vishwa Hindu Parishad or RSS or BJP. It has been clearly mentioned. Sorry, I would like to quote that particular line. Palipan Adikalam Parijum Ayoti Yanum Nyalanil Avadaritu Narapati Kulatil Ninu Munbila Kulatilundai Muram Killer Kerala Kon. Malayalis may not be, even Malayalis may not be understand that Malayalam. What is it? It has been written 1,000 years back by a so-called backward community member Kavi Govinda. Govinda was a backward community, Malaya community member. He wrote this poem, Palippa Nadikalam Parijadum Ayotyayanum Nyalatil Avadarittu Narapati Kulatil Ninnu Munbila Kulatilundai Muram Killer Kerala Kon. That means the greatest king of Kerala, Veera Kerala Varma, is in the lineage of the kings and great rulers came from Ayodhya. Malayalam mein, Tamil mein Ayodhya likha hai. What does it mean? Ayodhya. From Ayodhya they came. And there are so many references of the whole Bharat in that ancient scripture. Unfortunate to say, even our literary history students are not allowed to read and study these type of scriptures even in Malayalam. They are not allowed. It has been written in that poem, Umayuda Pitavennum Perudayan Aikenuda Meli Mayer Kudirikum Imayam Alayundu Pinne. See, one person who was there, born in Aranmula, deep south, was talking about Uma's Pita. Who is Uma's Pita? Himavan. Imayavar. In Tamil, Imayam means Hima or snow. Imayavar Kudirikum Imayamalayundu Vidne. How come he knows about that Himalaya and that belief was there? Without knowing all this background, this scriptural background, this literary background, these guys are claiming that South is something different. Amma Malakki Tenpal Pakacha Paruta Kandatil. So, kitna sundar tarike se likha hai. Amma Malakki Tenpal. What does it mean? To the south of that great mountain. Akacha Paruta Kandatil. What is Paruta Kandam? Bharata Kandam. The south of Himalaya is known as Bharata Kanda. And again the Kavi is saying, One manna rokka vandu vagandavar padinettaki. That means great rulers and kings of this Bharata Khanda divided it into 18 parts. 18 parts. He has named it also. Sitting deep south in Kerala, he named that land. Maluvam Kalingam Chinam Marutavum Tilingam Meenam Kilavichar Vihitam Nalla കേകയ പന്തിനാടും കാഞ്ചി പാഞ്ചാലഞ്ചിന്തു കന്നഡം പുളിന്തുന്നല്ല കോച്ചലം തിറങ്കൽ തങ്കും കുളിർമേർ ചോഴനാടും പാണ്ടിയും പതിയുമെന്നി 17 നീക്കിപ്പിന്നെ കേരള പൂവനമല്ലോ കേവലം ഇവിടം വേറെ. सी इसमें आप लोगों को भी थोड़ा सा परिचित शब्द आप सुने होंगे. मालवम, मालवा, कलिंगम, कलिंग देश है, यानी that means Orissa and all. Cheenam, at that time Cheena and Maruta means Bengal and Assam area. Tilingam, that means Telangana, Telangana. And Kekaya, Kanchi, Panjalam, Sindh, Panjalan Jindu. Jindu means Sindh. Pakistan was also been mentioned by the Govinda Kavi of Kerala, Aranmula, 1000 years back. Mind it. Take it into consideration. Without understanding this background, these guys are talking all these things. He mentioned 17 states and then he was saying, Pandiyum Padiyumenni 17 Nikipinna Kerala Puvanamallo Kevalam Ividam Pinne. This is Kerala Desha. That has been mentioned. So, let me tell you, if you want to cut, you can't do it. It is not able, you are not able to cut it because we are one. Again, I am saying it is an indubitable unity. This is one nation from time immemorial. This is a sacred landmass where every grain of sand is Shiva. Great socialist leader, even an atheist, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, said about the unity of this cultural unity of Bharat. He says, Lord Rama connected north to south. Lord Rama connected north to south. Krishna connected east to west. These two parts are okay because Rama and Krishna can be considered as a historical figures. But the last sentence you see, and Shiva is present in every particle of the country. Shiva. Kangar kangar mein shankar hai. That has been said by Ram Manohar Lohia. Again I am saying, those who are claiming Ambedkar as their theoretical intellectual master, they are not well aware about what Ambedkar has said about the cultural unity of Bharat. Those who are claiming themselves as socialists, these Uttar Pradesh people and all, and Bihari leaders, and the very same leader, their theoretician, Ram Manohar Lohia has clearly mentioned that Rama was instrumental in connecting Bharat, north and south, and Krishna was instrumental in connecting east to west, and Shiva was present in each and every particle of this land. Although the seeds of division were planted by colonialists, it was given a political campaign by their stooges. The person Cunningham, an officer in East India Company, who started the archaeological survey of Bharat, has clearly mentioned, see, we were all thinking that this archaeological survey and also Royal Asiatic Society were all been done. Survey of India, all are for us. But for them, we would have been ignorant about the whole Bharat. That is our belief. But actually, what was it for? The person who started archaeological survey was saying, he has mentioned, he made certain findings to only show that Sanatana Dharma doesn't have much antiquity. That was his purpose and he has said it very clearly. So I don't want to take much time. All the important matters have been very well elaborated. So only thing which we want to understand is that I have already mentioned, the so-called mainstream political party who are claiming themselves as national parties without or with understanding about this great nation's unity are supporting the divisive elements who are hell-bound to divide and destroy Bharat. We could understand why Communist Party is thinking so. Because as for the ideology, Communist Party can never believe in nation. It is against their belief system. If any of the Communist Party leader is claiming that we are also in favor of nation, wrong. First of all, you say that we are not following Karl Marx. Karl Marx clearly said that nation is the greatest suppressive, oppressive element. Just like family. They are against family, they were against nation. Thanks for their leaders now. They seldom talk about their ideology now. They knew that that ideology is already defunct and not scientific. But what happened to this Congress party? That also I have already mentioned. Because of the lack of thinking style, reading habit, comprehensive power, they have outsourced their intellectual activities to this Communist Party. Nehru even once said about the Periyar, the Tandai Periyar. Malayali people may not laugh, that is his name, Tandai Periyar. That is E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar. He said, Periyar is a mad person and he should be put in an asylum. Because he was always talking about the division of Bharat, against Ramana and all. But you might have seen yesterday's Rajya Sabha discussion in which a person who is representing Ramaswamy Naikar's party was saying, DMK leader Abdullah, quoting the very same E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, about whom Jawaharlal Nehru said that he is a lunatic person, he should be sent to asylum. And the Congress leaders were applauding and giving support to Abdullah's this comment. What was his comment? Every race has the right to self-determination. कितने प्रकार के असंवैधानिक कानून के खिलाफ वो बता रहे. Every race has the right to self-determination. That applies to the people of Kashmir as well. My pranams to Uparashtrapati. He suddenly intervened and expunged this particular anti-national comment. So the point is, none from the Congress bloc stood up. No, we don't believe in this. But they were all giving applause, huge applause to this Abdullah, the divisive leader. And another leader, which party he belongs to, I don't know. He is an advocate in the 100 crore club of Supreme Court. There is I don't know whether it is announced or not, those who are getting 100 crores in 1 month as their fees, such advocates are there in a particular group that is known as 100 crore club. Kapil Sibal is one among them. He was Congress, now he is in SP or BSP, I don't know. He wants to be in Rajya Sabha always, that's why. While he was presenting a case against Assam's chief minister, he was saying that Assam was never a part of Bharat. Assam was a part of Myanmar. Are Sibalji, this Myanmar itself was a part of Sanskritic Bharat, the great Bharat part, whatever it may. But can you say that Bhagadatta of Pragjyotisha, where is he from? He participated in the Mahabharata war. So right from the Mahabharata time, Assam was a part of it. But these type of persons are still claiming and trying, maybe because of their frustration which they are facing now. So these forces are to be faced. We have to face them head on, and intellectual responses as well as the civilizational unity is to be strengthened. That is the main purpose of this conclave. And I would like to conclude. Recently, one conclave was organized by some elements in Kerala. It has been supported by a Canadian firm, and it was heard afterwards that that particular Canadian firm was financed by none other than the most notorious, old, opinionated and dangerous person as far as our Honorable Foreign Minister Jaishankar ji was concerned. Jaishankar ji put George Soros in this column. He said that an old, opinionated and dangerous person has supported this particular Cutting South program. It was organized by some pro-Islamist, pro-left media and propaganda outlets such as, I haven't got any sort of fear to pronounce, to say who all have organized that function. It was mainly organized by one journalist organization of Kerala, supposed to be a journalist organization, Kerala Union of Working Journalists. They have supported it. the News Minute, News Laundry, Confluence Media, and some funders from Canada. They all together came together and organized that function. It has already been mentioned by Honorable Minister V. Muralidharanji that it was inaugurated by Chief Minister of Kerala, who took his oath, putting his, I don't know, right hand or left hand, or whether he has put his leg on it, I don't know. But whatever it may, he took his oath with Constitution in his front. And such a person has inaugurated it. And do you know who was the chief guest of that function? That is the strange and most ridiculous part of Indian politics. That is the opposition leader V.D. Satishan. That means a strange confluence. Against whom? Against the integrity of this nation. If anything is it is to be organized against a nation, they all come together. Once Madani, who was the main culprit of Coimbatore blast case and who connived with Pakistan and all to work against Bharat, was given bail. He has given a thunderous welcome in Kerala. For that function, all these political parties were there. So, those who are against Bharat, those who are with Pakistan, those who are against the unity of Bharat, they will conduct these type of programs. So we have to seriously consider this particular aspect. And also, the Kerala government has pushed the state into utter mess in terms of economic development. It has turned into a graveyard for industry and business. Corruption has gone beyond imagination. People are leaving the state for greener pastures. The decline in the quality of education is alarming, needless to say. Anti-center and anti-North Bharat sentiment is being generated to hide their failures and mismanagement of affairs. Caste animosity is being created to keep groups in the throes of conflict. There should be an attempt to expose the real face of these type of elements. They should be taken to task. It is our duty. So for that purpose, a popular intellectual movement should be initiated to bring them to account. I am putting a full stop this presentation by quoting the great Kavi, the nationalist patriotic Kavi of Tamil, Bharatiyar, Subramanya Bharatiyar. He, in a very popular song, I think it can also be considered as a national song or national poem or whatever. There is national anthem and national poem. So along with that, it can also be included, I think. Sindhu nadiyin visai nilavinile cheranan nattilam penkaludan udane. So apologies, Shantisri ji, because you know Tamil better than me. So, Sindhu nadiyin visai nilavinile cheranan nattilam penkaludane sundarattu telinginin pattisaitu thovanigar oti vilayadi varuvom. Again, lot of lines are there. What is the meaning? Bharati brings about a complete national integration in this song. He says, basking in the moonlight, Sindhu river. In Sindhu river, along with the Chera kingdom girls. Chera kingdom means not only Tamil Nadu, Kerala also. At that time, Kerala is very much popular and famous for the beauty of the girls. Okay. He says, basking in the moonlight, Sindhu river along with the Chera kingdom girls, let's sing songs in the beautiful Telugu language and let's row and play along the river. In another paragraph, he is saying, we must exchange with the ivory of Chera, with the great patriotic songs of Maratha. These type of songs, connecting all states and parts together, Chera, China, Marutu, Malavam, everything is been connected in that beautiful song. He is from Tamil Nadu. How can you say that Bharat south part is different from north part? It is one. But someone is trying to create such an animosity among our people. So I have already said, a great, strong, popular intellectual movement is also necessary to counter these type of vociferous tendency. That is the need of the hour. Namaskar, Vande Mataram.
Thank you, Nandakumar ji, for that for those moments of inspiration and a very eye-opening speech, for giving us so much of information. So now I request Dr. N.R. Madhu, the editor of Kesari Weekly, to felicitate our guests who have arrived for the first session, for the inaugural session. At first, Dr. N.R. Madhu will felicitate Mr. Babu Panikar. Thank you, Mr. Babu Panikar, for gracing us with your presence. We're extremely privileged to have you here. Up next, I request Dr. N.R. Madhu to continue the felicitation as we felicitate the speaker of the first inaugural session, who has given us so much information, J. Nandakumar. Thank you, sir. Thank you, G, for coming.
As we conclude the inaugural session, in order to give the vote of thanks, I would like to welcome Mr. Vishnu Aravinji from the organizing team.
Namaste to all of you. We have come to our end of this inaugural session. It is my duty and I am honored to thank on the behalf of Kesari all those who have helped us to get off this auspicious start. First of all, on the behalf of organization committee, I would like to thank our chief guest V. Muralidharan ji and Mananiya Nandakumar ji and Dr. N.R. Madhu ji, the chief editor of Kesari, and Sri Babu Panikar ji, and all those who have gathered here, our guests, special invitees, students, and volunteers, and all participants. Once again, I thank one and all present here. Namaste.